The immigration crisis continues in our country. 100,000 immigrant children are expected to cross the U.S.-Mexico border by year's end, putting what many call a strain on taxpayers. As News 5's Tiffany McCall explains, hundreds of those children made their way to Alabama.
Over 50,000 unaccompanied minors crossed the U.S.-Mexican border illegally so far this year. Of those, 37,477 have been placed with sponsor families. 515 children have ended up here in Alabama. Congressman Bradley Burns says the next step is deciding if they can stay in the United States.
It's like a court proceeding, except it's not with a jury, but there's special judges. And we need to expedite the process as quickly as possible so that we can return them to their mothers and fathers where they belong.
He says the House of Representatives worked on passing the legislation to provide the funding to get the children through the legal process quickly. But they hit a speed bump when the Senate chose to take a break through Labor Day before taking up the bill.
We passed the legislation to do that in the House before we left. We passed the money to pay for it before we left. But the Senate left and didn't do anything. So the burden here, the next step here is for the Senate to take up our legislation. If they want to make changes to it, that's fine. That's what the legislative process is about. But do their jobs.
Of the 515 children placed here in Alabama, I asked the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services to break down how many are in Mobile, but it tells me it does not have sponsor data broken down county by county. However, the director of the Guadalupe Center says so far it's had about 25 individual cases where they were contacted by families to get paperwork started at the Mobile County Health Department. Now, Catholic Services here in Mobile says they have received dozens of emails and phone calls from people inquiring about whether they will place illegal immigrant children. But the organization tells me they only handle legal refugee cases, not illegal immigrant cases. Live in the newsroom, Tiffany McCall, News 5.